Hello, ladies and gentlemen, friends from the internet. It's Joel here. I'm back for another session of polishing stuff. Uh, we're working on our game that we made during the Load Dire 52 game jam. It's called the Slim Reaper. I think we're going to start with some particle updates to the particle system. Looks like it's done quite well just sitting here. I'm kind of confused. I have $8,000. That's an interesting situation. And started with an empty field. I mean, the game's been sitting for a day and a half. Definitely got some interesting things going on. That's some other things we need to work on with the engine, is the ability to pause and properly if you leave the window, things like that. If the window's not in focus, pause the game. You know, basic, simple stuff. Anyway, I think I'm going to start with particles, making particles look more like they should. So let's get on that. I'm not going to be super engaged with the live stream today, I don't think. I'm just going to focus on the work. If I happen to see a chat or something, I'll respond to it, but somehow chat is gone from my the chat part of the integration is gone from
if you work
from OBS. So I'm gonna pull up a chat window here. Take me a couple minutes, and also go in here. Why is that so big? Turn off auto stop and pop out the chat window. Get us all squared away. Put that right over my face so I don't have to look at me. Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay. Now let's pull this out. Let's move it to another workspace. That's an interesting place to put it. Let's put it right here in this other workspace. If I need to get over there, I can. Alright, so here is the game. The Slim Reaper. Oh, let's pop over here so you can actually see it. There's the game. I've driven off screen so I don't get demolished. You see we're making a lot of money, and that's because I did some cheesy upgrades. The upgrade system is broken right now, so you can really cheese the upgrades. There are some things we definitely need to fix. Let's start with one of those. If you move engine, okay, we don't need the LD Jam folder. We want the engine folder. We don't want the old. Oh, there we go. Movement. There it is. Currently, we subtract 0.1 fuel every time we move. And we move at 100 pixels per second. What we really want to do is set a variable to this. Movement. Distance. There we go. Distance is a good name. Distance equals that. Distance times some scalar. I'm going to put it at 0.1 for now. Okay. So that's going to make a fairly significant difference, I suspect. Oh, missing equals constant distance. I am missing an equal. You are correct. Okay. Alright, we want to make that be a smaller number. That few will go away. Okay. 0.01. Let's put a scalar here too. Efficiency equals 0. It's not actually, anyway. Just editing that every time would be a pain, so we'll get it in the ballpark and then we'll clean it up a little bit. I think this is reasonable. Get it before they pop. Might be a little too much, but we'll leave it here for now. Ah, just missed it. Okay. One other thing I want to do here is instead of applying this here, I'm going to throw one more variable in here. We're going to say let food equal false. And then we're going to say this at the end. If moved. And let's say alright, so switching that out will make it so that you don't get completely taken advantage of. Now you can take advantage of going diagonal. So still need to tweak that a little bit. I gotta go take care of something. I'll be right back. Okay, and I'm back again. So where was I? We were working on adjusting movement and fuel usage. It looks like our repairs are through the roof. Okay. We're just gonna drive back and forth across the field, see how many passes we can make on a tank of fuel. Actually, 3/4 of a tank, because we start at 3/4. It goes 1, 2, this is 3. Highly scientific. 4. 5. So 5.5, 6, somewhere in that ballpark. Okay. It seems like a usable amount. We'll stick with this for now. And work on some cool clouds. I just realized you couldn't see anything I just did. We just drove back and forth across the field 5 times, so you didn't miss much. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna leave it quietly in the background. Nice and annoying for you. What does the world have to say for itself? Okay, that's fantastic. Particles. Particles, particles, particles. Okay. I started on this the other day. Let's see how far I got. Any notes? Now we're not using animated sprites, so let's not worry too much about that. So I think for a particle system, I'm going to update it slightly. So the particle system has a draw call. A particle type should all be drawn the same way. So a given particle an update. Where's the draw? Draw is, yeah, draw is in here. Okay. So I'm going to add a graphics component that we can Yeah, we're gonna add a graphics component and we'll just keep drawing it to the transform. Um, let's see, our graphics components, their draw call takes a transform. Okay, perfect. So yeah, we'll just switch from using a circle to a graphics component. That way we can do sprites, we can do circles, um, any graphics component we can draw. So our particle type component will have is that the best way to do it? I guess so. That's what we're gonna try that and see how bad it is. Go from there. Experimentation, right? It's a particle. Do I want that on a particle type? Particle type defines behavior. I want to put the particle in the particle type component. So in homage, I guess, to the whole concept of this engine, we're going to get ChatGPT's feedback. So we're going to give it that. Yep, this code exports a particle component class, which is a component for managing and updating particles within a game engine. The update method iterates over all particles in the component. Oh, we can just attach the render component to the entity that owns the no, because then yeah, the entity that owns the particle system or the particle type, right? So I have a particle type. I'm going to attach this render component, whatever type of render component it is. I would like to modify the code to use class render component for on the entity to find for it. I mean, this is so stupid simple. Yeah, we need to do that. See, I would have forgotten that. Move the draw logic to a new class render particle component. Okay, why do we move that to a new class? Render component. What in this example, instead of having the draw method in the particle type component, you move the draw to render particle component, which extends the render component. Okay, so I see. Um, property particles need to be drawn. You can then instantiate the render particles component class in the particle type component draw method and call the draw method on the instantiated object, passing in the context of the transform. Also need to attach the particle component to the entities it needs. So the specific render component is used to handle the draw calls of the entities, and the render component, will handle the draw calls of the entities, and the render component will handle the draw calls of the particles specifically. Okay. So then the particle type component I mean, no, splitting it out into two separate components is useful because the particle type component can't just be an extended render component, right? Is that a good way to do this? I kind of like it. It separates um it just makes the particles another thing you render um instead of being the special case that the render system has to deal with. So I like that. Like I kind of had them separated. Well, they're a special case. Let's look at it. Currently, we render everything else, and we render particles. Um, you have a separate renderer. Basically, you have a separate entity that handles all the whole particle system. So it has a particle type, which really needs to be revamped. Okay, so I think we can do all this. It does modify the way things work. I think in a good way because yeah, I think it modifies it in a good way. This should be particles. Did I just put graphics into? I just imported graphics into graphics or render component. Okay. Don't know why there's a lot of spaces in front of them. Let's fix that. Okay, so we have a render particle component. Okay. And then we update the particle type component, which really is not what it's supposed to be at the moment. So currently, the particle type component has a draw function that iterates through all the. It doesn't need a draw function anymore because this should be doing all the draw. Well, okay, it misunderstood me. It misunderstood me because now it's broken this out, but it's not. I can't have multiple render components. So, no, is not quite how I want it to work. Would like to be able to, if any component to the entity that contains the and have it draw, have it use that render when it draws particles. All right, yeah, back. Okay. But the particle component can use any render component that is attached to the entity the particle component is a part of. Constant render component equals this entity that get component render. Oh, this is nice. If render component, instead of doing that though, here's what we'll do. Also, some render components, I should add it into the spec. You have a DT passed to them. Okay, so get rid of this render particle system component. That was a cool idea, but then I end up with two render components on an entity, and that doesn't work. The engine is not built that way. It's not work. I wish it did. Apparently, at least in the version of JavaScript I'm using, or in the browser I'm using, maps in JavaScript can't have multiples of a same value, so it doesn't work. Okay, so we have a particle type component. Down here we have a draw. Okay, so they're really not. Well, we could actually do this first, right? We get the render component. And then we say render component dot particles equals this dot particles. That's not quite. It's got it completely backwards. How this works. Okay, so here, bn path. Okay, if not particle dot marked for deletion, then we can actually do this if not render component, but instead of returning, we'll do this, at least for now. I think that will get deprecated away and not make any sense to have anymore, but for now, helps to hold a shift if you want to highlight. For now, we'll put that in. Okay, and then we're going to say, whoa, that's a big else. Else, render component dot draw CTX transform, but the transform is going to be transform plus particle dot position. I think particle position is particle position a vector? Or does particle position begin to exist? It begins to exist in the emitter that makes the particles, which I also want to make another function in the particle. Well, I want to make an emit function that's separate from the two, so it's all decoupled. So we'll have a particle component. Well, a particle type component. It's confusing. I really need to rename that. So I have one component that's responsible for a group of particles and what they look like. We have another component that is responsible for making particles. So it's going to say, I want to put this particle out at this location and with this velocity. That's basically what I was going to say. I only need this and this velocity. The particle type will determine how it behaves. And the sprite attached to that particle type entity will determine what it looks like. So we have an entity, really is the type of particle. We have the particle type component. But then I need to add, I need to change the particle type component so that it is just like a definition of a particle. Like this. And then the other one would be like the particle. Well, I can almost get rid of it in a way. I have a particle system that's processing all the particles. So currently it goes through and gets this type of particle, and then it processes them all this way. The reason I did that was to make it simpler-ish. Yeah, you did it to make it simpler. Calculating wise, so that it's running this function update on all the particles in this list, right? So it doesn't have to keep this type of particle. Okay, I'm going to grab this function and run it. No, for that particle, I'm going to grab this function and run it. If you have like 6 different types of particles or 20 different types of particles, I don't want to be running each one separately. It's inefficient to like pull this function and pull this function in. It's lots of loading and unloading from memory. So if I can run all these down and then load this function, run all these into it, that's the idea. That's the idea. The idea is you have a list of each type of particle, and then you have separate updates. Anyway, it's not really working the way I want it to. I'm gonna have to. ChatGPT didn't do a. This is like one of the weakest systems that it made as far as it does all the things, but it's really janky how it does them. They had trouble. Be back. Okay. Maybe I'll just write this myself. Okay. So yeah, this is when it comes down to it. This wasn't going to get done in a jam anyway, because I was going to have to end up rewriting this system a bit, a lot a bit. Okay. So let's pull up um what's a good like brainstorming tool? I'm just going to grab myself a whoops. There we go. New. Come on, slow computer. Sheet from slides. Google Drawings. Yeah, that's what we want. That seems like the appropriate place to think this through. Okay. Get ourselves a square. We have a render component. And this is essentially handles the determines it has a draw function, a context, transform, and a DT. Okay, so that's how we're going to draw the sprite or the particle, right? They're going to call this on the thing. Then we're going to have a particle. Now the particle is just an object, it's not a component. We'll have a particle, we'll have a particle that I'm not going to even say what all is in it, but it defines the, well, it's just a struct that holds particle data. Okay. We have, what else? We have a particle type component that holds an array of these guys. Oops. Send that to back. Da, 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 da. Order. Send backward. Okay. And this, so this has a particle. I'm going to align this to the top. An array of particles. Let's actually take this out of here. We'll just say that it has an array of particles. It has What else does it have? And this is essentially our particle system, but we've for processing region. Basically, these are used to batch particles of a given type, right? I don't know. I could also just have a particles component. It also has a update or a particle update. So that goes through all the particles in an array. Or in the array. So during the update function of the system, it updates each particle in an array. With this function, which you can define. So I can say particles component update function equals this function when I, right? It just has to be a function that takes a, I think it takes it, what does it do? Let's look at it real quick. The update function it just updates a given particle. Well, okay, this update function in the particle system updates all the particles. For each particle, it runs the update function, right? So update function, not to be confused with the function update, that gets run on all the particles in the system. I think what I need to add here is another field. This needs to have particles attached. The other option is there's a couple options. One thing I want to do separate, slightly down the road, is make a render component that is comprised of a list of render components, right? So it's like a batch render component. So if you have a UI element, you can say I want all these components to be rendered. I want to draw some text that's set by this value. I want to draw in this location. I want to draw a box here. I want to draw this image here, and layer them all up. And then you can call that a render component on an object or on an entity, and then it can get called. So then that all stays as one thing. It's got one transform that updates, and it does the thing, right? So you have one entity to an update or to a UI component. So basically it's a UI render component, but it could be used for other things too. It could be used for a multi-sprite entity that maybe it's arms that move, right? And you're setting those by some other thing, and I don't know. I got to work on how all that works a little bit just to make it more clean. That's down the road. That's engine stuff. That's not polish for this game. That's engine stuff. It might go into polish because of the UI. I want to be able to like have whole UI elements hide and unhide, I think. Anyway, here goes nothing. Okay, so we have that. So let's go back to here. Yeah. So we have the particles component. It has an update function, which takes a particle, and it takes a tree. Why are we using trees? What's the tree? I don't remember what we use the trees for. I think it was an efficient way to store. Yeah, we used a KD tree. I don't remember why we picked a KD tree. I think it's for collision stuff. That's what it's for. It's for collision stuff. So it's like a position sorted tree of what's where. So when it's doing collision detection on particles, it can do all that. So this does checks for collider interactors. Basically, we have an interactor component that has to have a collision shape, collision polygon, and this will process the particles and see if they're inside the polygon or not. We're just doing a point collision. Should be anyway. Particles are just particles. They just a point in space. Okay. So enough rambling about how this is all put together. Let's convert that into, I want to be able to draw whatever I want in the draw. That's what this is all about. So we've basically done that. If we attach a render component to this, it should render it. Okay, we have to update transform. And we were wondering if position is a vector or not. Position is not technically a vector, but we can make it a vector. We can say equals new. Okay. These are all vectors, so that's not a vector. Anything with an x and a y. And it's slightly loose definition of a vector. In this, anything with x and y is a vector, or can be a vector. And we want to put these new vectors. And that means we're going to need to include vector in here also. Let's see. It's in collision where we use vectors a lot, right? Collision. Oh, they're all part of vector, that's right. I forgot. I just made everything part of, not everything, there's a couple extra utility functions that you can import separately. So those are all vectors. The whole reason I did that was so I could say vector.add. Or I can say in this draw function, update, draw, there we go, transform, well, we're not going to do transform position. Add transform. Okay, I know that's not a whole lot of difference, but okay, so now if we run our game, that shouldn't break anything, I don't think. Developer tools, I don't have any faults, errors, nothing. That's good. Okay, I got particles going off. Okay, but before we get too excited, let's go to engine. Let's make sure particles is reloaded. It was not reloaded, so that's worth noting. Oh, there's our faults. Missing parenthesis line 137. 137. What did I do way down here? One. Is that not in particles? Am I just looking on? Yeah, it's in particles. 137. Oh, that's what I did. Oh, that's what I did. I'm an idiot. Okay. Yeah, you gotta put the parentheses around these guys. At least, I believe I can do this though. Vector, vector. Okay. That's that. And then we also have to do it for the particle class. Okay. Did that fix it? Missing one of those in my 166. Oh, we got our parenthesis in the wrong place. Okay, then. Ender.js. Lot because it should be fine. Because it's not called render.js, it's called graphics. I should rename it render, but then I'll have to fix it in all the other files. Indirect export. Really? Oh, because we didn't export it because we never expected it to be used by anybody. This only works with particles, so particles only work if you're rendering, so it now makes sense. Okay, well, fine. Engine, graphics, reload, go back, go back. This entity is undefined. 63. This is undefined. I mean, this dot entity is undefined. Yep. Okay, issue. I don't know who my entity is that I belong to. I'm just a measly old component here. Okay, so is there a workaround for this? I don't want to be passing that in. Yeah, I don't want to be passing in the render component. Okay, the workaround is we have to pass the render component to the thing. So then, yeah, we have to pass the render component to the thing. Workaround time. Okay, so we're going to have a render component. Render. And we're also going to want a particle. Right, so we're going to have a and render. Okay. And yeah, good enough. So then we just want to make this not say this dot render. We're just going to say render. In fact, we can just const render component here. If not, render, and then down here, else render.draw. Okay, does that fix everything? That fixed everything. Okay. So now, let's go back to here. We're going to add something amazing here. Where do we add the particle system to? Who owns a particle system? Red. Okay. Particle system owns a particle system. That's perfect, okay? Ah. For now, I'm gonna make a better way to do this. Oh, we already have a better way to do this. We just throw in more things, right? We already did that. Particle type component. Okay. Alright, we're gonna need a function. We'll use this for now. Comma. Um, so we have a particle update. We have a is it a graphic next? Yeah, render component is next. So to add a render component, so new so we'll do sprite, and it's going to have the URL of dot slash okay, and then we'll put that comma in, and the last thing we need is a particle. We're going to skip that for now because we haven't even dealt with how that works yet, so we're not going to put that in yet. Let's come back to here. Let's refresh this because I know it won't refresh properly on its own. Load that up. All right, missing equals in declaration. 49. Oh, I need to close the function. Because that's a function, not a... Yeah, I wasn't actually missing an equals. I just put the wrong kind of identifier thing. Particle type is undefined. Particles 266. Particles 266. Const particle pool equals particle type dot particles. Did I mess something up over here? Custom I component new particle type component. Oh! Oh! All looks good to me. Particle type is undefined. Why is particle type undefined? See, called by update on particles. Called by the engine called particles. Particles runs this. Particles gets to here, and it's like, I do. Okay, so for if it has component particle emitter. Do we have something out of order? I think we have something out of order. I think. No. ID update function. Need you. I don't really need you right now. Okay, ID update function. What? What's wrong? Why? Let's try the obvious. Let's go back out. Let's reload this. Nope. Okay, and then let's go to the engine directory and let's reload the particles. Particle type is undefined. New particle type component. Sprite component. Graphics popcorn. System update. Yeah, it's updating the particles. Okay, well let's put a thing there. Let's reload and see the status of things when it hits breakpoint. Particle type. Particle pool equals particle type. Particle type equals this dot particle types dot find. Process any particles. Particle types, interactors. Any dot has component particle type. This dot particle type dot push any dot component particle type. Okay, so particle emitter. Const emitter equals any dot get component particle emitter. Should process with a. Okay, so we're getting emitted particles for whatever reason. Oh yeah, that's an array. Yeah, that's cool. It has a couple particles that it emitted. Particle type equals this dot particle types dot find. Type is undefined. Okay, that's a problem. Emitter dot emit undefined. Okay, so we have an emitter. Yeah, particle type is red. Okay. Emitter dot particle type is red. Particle type is undefined currently. This. Type. Type. Find type. Type. ID equals emitter particle. Okay, so is it not registering as a particle type for some reason? Yeah, because that's a period and not a comma. Oh my word. The dumbest things. Yeah, let's get rid of the breakpoints. Le typo. Hey, now everything's gonna make popcorn. Hey, it makes popcorn. It's not supposed to make popcorn except when they explode, but that's okay. Even the cow makes popcorn. There's the popcorn. Whoa. Okay, it works. It works. Okay, I'm happy. I'll take a quick break. Be back shortly. Glad I got that working. So next up, we gotta make different kinds of particles do different things. So the next particle is gonna be the dust particles. Basically, I say I'll be right back, but actually, I'm not gonna leave yet. We can copy this and just name it something different. And I really should make a function for this, but I gotta figure out exactly what I want to change in different ones, and then it'll make more sense. So I'll probably have a different update function. I'll definitely have different update functions. So we can call this, well, we'll call this popcorn. Okay, so that particle is called popcorn. This one, we're just gonna ditch that, and we'll save it as red. So now in the corn, when the corn pops, that's down below here, popcorn. We add a particle component, we'll change this to popcorn. So RN, popcorn. Okay, so now when we reload this, oh, redeclaration of constant particle system. Yeah, that's right. I gotta rename it something different. There we go. Oh. Rename it everywhere except the one that really counted. Okay, so now these are red dots again. With the cow, he's gonna have, yep. Poor cow. Sorry, cow. Okay, popcorn is not visible for some reason. It's also not throwing an error, so there's... Same popcorn, all lowercase. Function popcorn. Huh. Get my red particles, but no popcorn particles. I bet it's in draw. I bet it's not the particle system's fault. So let's run over to draw real quick. The render system, the graphics system, yeah. Way down here, we draw particles. Yeah, you basically just treat it as a separate kind of render component. Oh, I think I might know what's wrong. I think I might be an idiot. Okay. Yeah, I'm an idiot. I'm pretty sure. See, we did everything except we forgot this line of code when we copied it. There we go. Now it'll work. Like, why is it just not working? Because you're an idiot. That's why. There we go. Show me that breakpoint. Continue. Okay, we got red particles. The corn grow. Let's see if it pops into popcorn or if it does something different. Oh boy. Tassels. It's full grown corn. Poof! Yes! Popcorn. I really need to get a server set up where people can play this. Or minify the JS so it's like one file. That way it doesn't have to be... Okay, now I'm going to take a break. I'll be back in a few minutes. And we'll get some dust particles going. The next collision we need to check on is a thing we need to do. Let me just add it down here to our notes. No, that's not where notes are. Here we go. Make it so boop checks if it is inside the before forming its other version actions. Okay, be right back. See you soon. Okay, that was a nice, quick progress. That's good. Quick progress is the best. Now, let's move on to some more, hopefully, quick progress. We want to make more particle types that actually work as expected. And again, particle component has no access to all the other stuff, which is an argument for why I should take all this out of the particle component and put it into the update particle type component. Because then I can just have a particle type that is actually the particle. And just call the generic, right? So you have a particle, you might have like a, still need the mapping of update to functions, update functions to particles, so we can make a particle have its unique update function. I think we can like explode this, refactor this stuff down into here. We'll make the naming make more sense, and it'll also make it more usable. I'm not doing it right now. It's okay. Okay, I can do it later. Not at all, unless I have to. Yeah, we'll just keep working away the long way around. Okay. So our next particle is going to be dust. So let's. Don't need you open anymore. We're going to come up here and we're going to make another particle. And we're actually going to make a new particle system for it. I'll copy this one because it's all together like it should be. And we're going to call this diced. It's diced. It's really dicey in here. I don't know what accent that is, but apparently my keyboard has an accent. It's dicey. And we're gonna call it dust. Okay, so for this one, we're gonna make a function. Just paste that. We're gonna rename it. Dust update. Okay, so dust is also going to say size plus, and it's going to say, yeah, that's a word. Dot a equal or minus, or is it plus plus? Is alpha It doesn't help. Well, we'll go minus minus and then we'll go plus plus. Minus doesn't work. Okay. Oh, we didn't actually add dust to anything though, so change anything to dust. Oh, it's also popcorn still. So let's make dust not be popcorn. Let's get rid of the sprite component because this is just a circle. Okay. So we harvest corn, which is down here. Make corn, damage corn, grow corn, harvest corn. Timer. We have a function we call harvest corn. There's harvest corn. Dust. Okay, it doesn't look like it. Still red particles. Oh, they should. Well, they should be getting bigger over time. They aren't. Okay. Maybe let's look at the properties of a particle. Maybe that would be good. We have a size, type, radius. Do we use the radius when we draw it? I think we use the radius, not the size. Yeah, there's some. Did I mention the particle system is really jank? Particle radius. And we're actually gonna, yes. I'm gonna do times equals 1.01. I want to grow fairly slowly. Oh, the other part of this equation is you gotta call the new update function for the new particle. So dust, hey dust. I'm gonna put this here. Dust, you gotta call dust update. Dust update. There we go. Okay, I think it's starting out with its alpha, like, going gone. Times equals. Okay, we gotta grow faster. And we want to times equal 0.9 something. .09. And radius is gonna. .09, what was I thinking? We got at 0.99. There we go. Okay. Okay, we don't want it floating away so much. In fact, we're not even going to change its position for now. Dust particles are going to stay wherever they were made. Hi.
I.
Oh, because the other one's over that way here. Hi.
What?
Yeah, your eye. Is it hard to see with your eyes covered like that? I'm not sure why these are black now. Ah! It's pollution. As we harvest corn, we make pollution. Yeah,
Daddy.
that's Daddy, yep.
Yeah, it's Anna.
Yeah, Ariana, yep.
Yeah. Uncle.
What do you think? The particle. The default. Ow! Oh, lifetime, not TTL. Lifetime. Mmm.
Whoa, what did you do? Oh. Oh my God. I have enough questions.
Whoops. Close. Cancel.
Beep, beep, beep. Beep, beep.
Got ahead of myself there a little bit.
He said, beep, beep.
I don't understand why they're big black circles now. I still can't type, that's why. I am. Still don't understand why they're black circles and not red. I just want to set that equal, not times equal. Is that it? Why is adjusting the color making it? Divide the current lifetime by the total lifetime. That should. Yeah, I don't know. Let's see. It starts out big, so that'd be 1, and then as it gets smaller. So if we just do the whole time times equals 0.9. 9. Um, Okay, I still gotta redefine how that works. So, and this is fairly good clouds. I want some driftiness to it. I want them to start bigger. Concept is there. I want them to be a different color. Yeah, I want them to start a lot bigger. Like, let's just do that. We'll make them start with a radius of 20. That's probably too much. They get big too fast. So we're gonna put this to point 0.01. I want them to start big, but then just .05. Oh, please don't. Ah. Ah. Yeah. Yes. I don't know. Why do you have that? Oh, did you accidentally take that from Grandma and Grandpa's house? Uh-oh. Oh dear.
Why?
I don't think I reloaded that. Particles. There it is. Hi. Ah! Okay. I don't think I want it quite 50, maybe 40. It's still starting so small. Growing so slow. I made it grow slower, that's why it's growing so slow. 0.8. This all happens too fast. It should wander off in a random direction, so. Hi. I heard you, buddy. We'll make lunch in a little bit, okay? It's not quite lunchtime yet. We make lunch in a little bit. No, we're not going to McDonald's. Okay, So dust. Yeah, so next thing to work on is different kinds of particles. Just realized you haven't been able to see my crazy dust particles that fly off at insane speeds. And just to mock it up, we can just say divided by 20. That's 10. There we go. Not really what I want it to look like. I have to work on it some more. Alright, I'm gonna go make some lunch. I'll catch y'all later. Have a good one. It's been fun. Till next time.